Live from Music City, Nashville, Tennessee. This is your motivational, sensational, inspirational, educational, keenly awaited, highly anticipated edition of the Afternoon Swing Trading Floor with your humble host, Jeremy Alexander. What's going on, traders from around the world? How are you? John Wheeler, what's up, bud? How's it going, man? Ron Buckley in the building. Yes. Always love when you hear Ron. Richard Berry, how's it going, man? How's the west of the U.S. happening? Cam, welcome. Good morning. Hope you slept well. Thanks for being here. Brad, Bill, Derek Washington, good afternoon. Hope your morning went well. Grant Benson in the building. Man, folks, some good stuff. Let's talk about it. What a nice little day out there in the markets today. Yeah, SPY. So we got some good job numbers or unemployment numbers or whatever. At least that's what posted. I believe the unemployment rate was the one that's at least the one that's publicized, 4.4, I believe, percent it was. Lowest in a long time. So that kind of caused a little bit of a gap up in the market. Had a black candle yesterday. Today was gapping up. So it's a little bit of a bullish gap and go on the SPY. Nice little stair step pattern. Again, you got your double bottom. So for those of you who had the May week 1, 228, 227 bull put spread, congrats. Dale Ryan, hey buddy, how's it going, man? Thanks for hopping in, bro. So that particular bull put spread for the May week 1, I was not in that one, but there were a few traders who were. So if you got a chance to snag the regular May, awesome, but May week 1 is now gone. The regular May should just be, at this point, totally worth it. So here's your hourly time frame. And of course, hourly, this is where you make the bill paying money, right? This is where you pay those bills. And this morning on SPY, some very, very classic action. So you had a white candle gapping up into a resistance. What type of gap is that? Retest gap. What did we do? Retest, and then we bounced, right? Because it was a good bullish gap on the daily. So you would have thought, okay, bullish direction, bullish gap and go. Let's see if I get a chance to snag it. And it was also a little bit of a double bottom right there. So there's a double bottom. So bottom line is on SPY, I'm watching for next week, and there's a great chance this will be a weekly options newsletter trade. Pretty much this on the SPY. Pull back to 239-ish, looking for some, May calls and looking for that to make new all-time highs. That's pretty much it on the SPY. Here's the Qs, and the Qs today pretty abysmal for the majority of the day, but the last few minutes were a little bit more bullish than bearish. We did make a higher high today from yesterday, but 137.49. Yep, we made a new all-time high also by 4 entire pennies. So congratulations. That's kind of cool on the Qs. Here's the Dow Jones ETF, DIA. And today we actually did kind of more or less close right on that trigger. So the close of the day was 209.77. And today we closed, again, really right on it. So the Dow Jones ETF, this one looks a little bit more prime for a potential trade than potentially the SPY. So we can see if we can snag one on a retest on Monday. Let's see here. Let me just see what kind of premium we're looking at on the Dow. We'll hop in here to the option charts on my other computer. I'd look at regular May, and that's at what, 209.66. So I'd probably do a 209 or 210 call. One of the two. For regular May, so we'd be in that trade, a few days. So we have the 210, 209.50, and then the 209. I'd probably be feeling pretty comfortable about the 209.50. Let me go put this in the charts and just see what it looks like. All right, so that would be about $1.30 with a stop at about 50 cents. Yeah, let's do that. I'm a classic cat. Limit buy $1.30 May 209.50 calls. And we'll put the stop at just a nice little low level, put it at 50 cents on the option. Give ourselves some wiggle room, and that is an official options trade, ladies and gentlemen. I'll throw that on the worksheet, and we'll see what we can do. So yeah, I'm just really kind of more or less saying, hey, if Monday pulls back. Now, if Monday, we can see, Monday morning, if we're gapping down massively or something. I say massively, like if we're below 208, you don't have to take the trade, you can cancel it. So we'll look at this right before market open Monday, just to make sure everything is fine. If we're gapping down a little, whatever. We're gapping down just a tad. I don't really care. So, because we want that pullback. That is what we're going to be after at this point. Okay. Based on gaps, that's going to be open, and voila. So I'll slide that one over here. Perfect. So that's the Dow Jones ETF. And then here's going to be the IWM. The IWM, nice little one white soldier, new white soldier candle, nice lower shadow, a little bit of a buying pressure there. And what do I normally look at? The XLF and then FAS. So today is Finance Friday, of course. We're looking at the financial sector. Not tons and tons of things to talk about. So the XLF, I mean, really, we're pretty flat. Pretty flat. Trying to see if there's any trade on the XLF. I don't really see one, other than if we close above here at any point, I won't be bearish. I won't look for puts or anything. I'm not looking for puts now. But then again, if we close below here, so maybe we can bracket trade this thing on XLF. The FAS will be pretty similar to that. Any chance you can text Brad really quick about the trade? All right, sweet. So XLF, I have no position on that at all. Same thing with FAS. It looks a little more bracket trade worthy. You have this 100 simple moving average right here. You had a really good gap. It retested slowly but surely. Today was an inside day candle. So the market in general, right? If I'm looking at going bullish on the Dow is comprised of a lot of financials. Therefore, if we retest or pull back or break out and you want to be bullish, look to play bullish. Any other questions, ladies and gentlemen, on the broad markets? Questions, concerns, thoughts, or oppositional viewpoints? Otherwise, we'll just hop in and we'll start knocking out some of these trades. There's a lot to look at. A lot of these are going to be option expirations. I didn't have any options expiring today, to my knowledge. I hope I didn't. But we'll look at a few. Let's hop over to Tesla first. I did look at this in the real life stock view for today. It'll come out in a little bit. But Tesla, we had yesterday a bull put spread on Tesla, right? Bull put spread on Tesla down here. It didn't get filled, so I canceled it. It was a June week 2. We were gapping up. We talked about that yesterday. I was like, literally yesterday in Transportation Thursday, we were talking about, hey guys, it retested to the previous all-time high. Right, we pulled up the hourly chart and I turned on the extended hours, and our analysis was, hey, if we break above this resistance here at 298.45, look to buy calls. I didn't get a chance to do that myself, but that's one of those situations where, when I'm working the room on a Friday, I care more about you guys than I care about my own trades. There's zero chance you can trade them all, but the market rewards the specialists, right? If you focus on certain stocks, if you focus on certain setups, if you focus on certain plays or strategies or times of the day, market rewards the specialists. So does life. So you can do anything, you just can't do everything. That was my post on Facebook this morning. So Tesla, one of those situations, I didn't get a chance to play it myself, but it was a beautiful move, great little gap, solid runner today, and has now closed above the high of Thursday. Big deal. I think this is the retest. That's exactly what I was talking about yesterday. And I think Tesla continues higher. So I canceled the bull put spread. It's pretty much the reason I'm bringing this over here. The two official spreads that we have, right, are three for real life trading. I'll just bring the worksheet over. Dale, you probably have this, but if you don't have it already, you'll get it in your welcome packet soon. SPY, MU, and Delta. Those are the three that we're in officially. So we might as well just knock those out since we're talking about it. MU is a condor, 2 weeks left, couldn't look better. And then Delta, we've already looked at the SPY. Delta, at this point, couldn't look better either. So all three look good. I'm gonna be flying today. There's a lot of things to talk about. So let me just go ahead and throw all these on the list. DAL, MU. Gonna take FAS off. Just looked at that. And then let's go ahead and look at the two swing trades we are in. So we are in Lulu and we're in YEXT. So Lulu, I mean, we're still up on it. Obviously, I'm not the biggest fan of this lower shadow today, but all things considered, welcome to NPR, all things considered. Pretty much what we got right here is looking at this 20 is going to be the real strong resistance. So short of the shares, if the stock can come into this 20, it should start slowly working a little bit better. Bottom line on this one, it did what we asked it to do. I said I want to break below the low of May 2nd candle, which it did, and that was that. We'll continue to hold. Here's the weekly chart. The weekly looks like a little bit of an evening star reversal pattern. We absolutely need that low to get taken out next week. Otherwise, again, trade probably won't be a home run. So that's pretty much an update on Lulu. We will look at it again on Merchant Monday. And then YEXT, this is another bullish trade that we're in. I do like the hammer candle today. That I do. So we're going to probably move the stop on this one on Tuesday. I mentioned if we're not above 1426, I'll be looking to bail. So we'll see if YEXT can end up doing anything, but it's just a stock trade. All right, cool. Let's get into the other ones. Disney, type in a 2 if anyone here got a chance to play Disney. I mean, again, this is one of those things where I didn't have the capital. You can't trade everything, right? But there were, even my buddy Justin was like, man, I want to get in. I just don't have the liquidity. Yeah, it was a beautiful, oh, wow. So nice. Pulled down right into the 100, and then you got the Chris Hemsworth Hammer of Thor candle, and we moved higher today. Mark says I'm in a diagonal call. All right. So Mark's in a spread of sorts, a diagonal. Fred types into 2. He made some coinage. Earnings is right around the corner on Disney. This is probably the start of some kind of consolidation, wave 4, maybe something like this. I'm kind of saying I think that's worst case scenario for Disney. If Disney, gaps down and opens here on earnings, obviously it's going to run a little bearish. That's really the only thing that's going to happen on Disney bearish right now. So again, this is the daily chart we're looking at right now. If we pull up the weekly, that's a good candle. That's exactly what we were calling for at the beginning of the week, right? So the very beginning of the week, we mentioned, I was like, guys, there's no way this trend can hang out like that for this long. It's got to take a little bit of a dip, and it did. So with that dip, came with some buying. Here's your exponential moving averages. Worst case, we could get to 105, but from there we definitely bounce. Nice little sell-off, allowing the buyers to rest and allowing the people who didn't get in an opportunity to snag some discounted shares of Disney. But from here, I don't see any reason why we don't continue higher. Justin said, Star Wars is coming. Probably should have said that yesterday. I know. May the 4th be with you was yesterday, International Star Wars Day. May the 4th. Today is May the 5th, and tomorrow's May the 6th. Hashtag math. Next on the list, we got ourselves, what is this? Southwestern Energy. Southwestern Energy. One white soldier out of support. Yep, I was looking at this one bearish, wasn't I? I was looking for it. With that candle right there, I mean, that's pretty much the retest on Southwestern Energy. You know, I'm glad the energy popped today. Very, very happy about that. As you know, I'm pretty bullish energy is more likely longer term. You have a good support there. I don't know if we do this and we start rolling over right on Monday. Let's look at this again on Wednesday. What I can say is I'm not going to short the retest, but if we close below today's one white soldier candle, this thing is serious. This right here is serious. This Southwestern Energy, this is just getting beat up. Stop being a bully. A Dr. Phil impression. Not too bad. It's not the worst. You all knew who I was doing, right? Maybe, maybe not. All right, that was Southwestern. We're going to look at that again on Wednesday. LNG. So LNG had a very nice bearish candle on earnings yesterday. And guess where it traded down to? Close your eyes because it's a surprise. Almost within pennies, the 200 simple moving average. So LNG, oh man, we're going to look at this on Monday because here's what I'm hoping for. Andy and Bill and everyone else, and Ray and everyone else who likes LNG, Butch, I wanted to trade sideways, boop, boop, on Monday. Small candle. That would be great. We get a small candle on Monday and then shazam. That's pretty much what you would be looking for. Right? So there's a lot of people who probably, more than likely, went bearish on Thursday and then they're getting trapped. They're getting trapped today. Big bullish engulfing candle, a little bit of a lower shadow yesterday, representing some buyers, and that's pretty much it. I'm going to put LNG on the list for Monday. If we get an inside day candle, I'll look to play the breakout. If we don't, then I will look to buy the dip. Ray says, I have a 50 September. Is it in danger? A covered call, right? Let's look at this weekly chart. $100 simple. Yeah, if we break above 47.10, Ray, if you can buy the $50 covered callback for less than you sold it for, sure. I think I would probably buy to close and let it see if it can bounce off that 100 because it's a really nice bullish engulfing morning star on a weekly off the 100 simple. I can kind of dig that. Yep, makes sense to me. I can live with it. So that's LNG. Okay, cool. Sweetness. Next on the list, we got First Solar and then Momo. So First Solar, I've been watching closely this last 2 or 3 days what we're going to do. And the low of this candle is 33.55. So this pretty much was really, really early in the morning. Looking for this now to more or less break. And here's what I'm thinking on First Solar. It's a great gap. It's a retest gap. This is a flag pattern right here on First Solar. And, you know, a nice double bottom, close with a neckline, 1, 2, 3, probably a 4, probably a 5 of some sort. So if we do close below 33.43, to close below 33.43, then I will look to let's go bearish. If we don't, let's go bullish. Any questions on First Solar? It's pretty much about it. I mean, it's a nice little move. It's at a resistance. So right here's your weekly chart. This 36.44, really strong old resistance, new support. And here's the daily time frame. You got the 200 simple, big volume, big double bottom. Yeah, we'll continue to keep an eye on it and see what we can do from there. All right, First Solar done. Momo, ticker symbol MOMO. So Momo, my buddy Bob had himself a 36.50 put sale expire worthless today, and he was double dipping a little bit. He had also one for 37.50 expiring next Friday, and next target more than likely is 41.59 for Momo, just based on some fibs. Now, just keep in mind, I believe, let me just check, see if Thinkorswim can find the earnings report. Nope. All right, so I'm going to go to Earnings Whisperer. For some reason, Thinkorswim just can't do that. I don't know why, but one of those things, I guess. Okay. Momo, what do we got? Just to make sure, May 23rd. So TradingView has it as May 16th. So maybe one of those times, somewhere in between there. But it's more or less coming up. Trend looks good. I like doing the put sales. Bob, just maybe confirm exactly when earnings are and take it from there. But congrats on that put sale expiring worthless. ACAD, this is another one. Bob says sold to open the 35 covered call on ACAD. So he had the 35 expire worthless this week. I forget exactly when he sold it, but it's right back at support again on Acadia Pharmaceuticals. So Bob did it for next Friday, and this is at 40 cents. Really nice candle at the exact same support that I had before. Long-term moving averages. There's the 200 simple. Let me see if I can verify earnings on this one, because according to TradingView, they're right around the corner. Neil says 516 according to Fidelity on Momo. Gotcha. Thank you, sir. So May 9th, both of these are syncing up then. Because what I was going to say is on ACAD, and you could, for any of my day traders, keep your eyes on this one. Great bullish engulfing candle. What I would say is let's see if it can break above there, bounce off that 200, and kind of go from there. Awesome. All right, that's ACAD. That's pretty much it. Hope it bounces for you, my brother. KND. So I remember that Zane, I believe, was looking at KND for a potential trade and had a good bullish gap. That's right. I was hoping that it would wait for us. Kindred Healthcare. So we're getting obviously a lot of healthcare news and information coming out recently. Looks like we've already pretty much broken out. So the big question is it going to pull back enough for us to snag some? I think it looks like it might. So it broke out of resistance. You already have a bullish gap and go. Oh, wow. This pays dividends too. I didn't know that. All right. Stop here at 869. And then target would be 1206. Yeah. It's a 1 to 2 risk reward ratio. Okay. I'll leave that open pretty much for the entirety of next week. So this would be a limit buy. Looking for it to pull back into 989. Down, 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 down. So I'm going to throw this one in the worksheet as well. Swing trades current month. Nice, Brad. 5/5/2017. We're going to look at the rest that are on here also. 989. So we got a bearish trade out there, just in case the market rolls over. So I always like to at least, if I can, have one bear, just in case. It's a good setup based on a gap and go, and it is open because it's not triggered yet. And we'll throw that in right shot. Okay, KND doing its thing. Thanks, man. All right, next on the list, we got TRMB. TRMB, Trimble Incorporated, big retest gap, really nice move, solid bullish trend. I would have loved to have been in down here, but that was before earnings. I'm not going to take this personally, but whoever requested TRMB, this is a stair step pattern, in my opinion. This is a retest gap, in my opinion. So that would mean this is the retest. So if you look at playing it bullish, right on. Right on. I'd say that would look good. Here on the hourly charts, I mean, I would be in and out quickly because it is kind of sort of extended. You know, it moved really, really quickly, and we can look back in the past and see that, and that's the best way to determine how something's going to move in the future, right? How far it might move. So you got this, and you got this, and you got this, and you got this, and you got this, this, and then this. It's moved more, about 1 or 2 times, but not a lot more. So, you know, be patient, be careful if you're getting in, just kind of get in, get out, make your magic, make your money, and then move on. Okay, pretty much what we got now. Next on the list, MetLife, MET. So this is the daily chart. We had a pretty good gap on MetLife. I'm wondering if we can close above this wick. I'm not going to make this official yet. We already have a decent amount of swing trades created, so we're not going to have too many, right, at once. We're going to see if we can close above there. That's pretty much it on MetLife. I'm just going to jot that one down for, let's look at it Monday, and that way we can kind of determine some of the other swing trades that may or may not trigger, and then go in from there. I got 2 more that I want to put on the list at least. AAOI and INCY. All right, so let's go look at silver and gold. So here's silver, ticker symbol SLV, and silver right now, really, really pretty channel double top thing. I don't know. This is going to be a fun one though. This is going to be fun. So pretty much on silver, we got this really good support resistance right here that broke down. And you had this great resistance right here. So that was a phenomenal resistance. Sold off there once, twice, 3 times a lady. So there was a good resistance. We're really extended. There's no question in my mind what silver is going to do. It's just going to do one of 2 things. And that part, I don't know exactly how far it is. But it's either going to flag here, which means do something like this and then roll over. That's number 1. Or number 2, it's going to just do this and then roll over. I guess really a third possible option is this, and you know, a blend. But I like it down here to be bullish. I like today's inside day candle. Here's your weekly chart, and you know, it's a little bit of a double top on a weekly. There's no denying that. So I think we could at least retest 1607. I'll probably be buying some more physical silver next week. But this $14 support down here, that's going to be a long-term support. This $14.84, this is going to be a long-term support. But hopping into the hourly chart, we can see a nice little pattern. And looking at the hourly, we could probably have this trigger here and have this stop, you know, there. So 1562 by 1534. The truth of the matter is, no one knows that trade is going to work or not. That's just the simple truth. But at this level, I'd at least be looking at playing it bullish and then just minimize your loss. Having your trading plan, the amount of time that you're willing to wait for it to be correct. And if it doesn't move or start really popping shorter term and you're in profitable, then yeah, just go ahead and pull the cord. But I think everyone here, if you're not in silver long term, it's fine, no big deal. I think everyone that kind of knows my perspective, longer term on silver, I think it's just a good asset to own at these levels, like a 10-year asset type of thing. Gold. So gold, Dave, I remember you were in a spread or looking at a spread down here at 17. So it's definitely in your spread at this point. The weekly chart. So gold is kind of randomly selling off for sure. Definitely breaking below the long-term moving averages. I remember Mark saying he got out of his. And you'll notice very similar little pattern here on gold. Just a small 2-day pennant. So if gold breaks lower and silver breaks lower, don't be afraid to play it bearish. If gold breaks higher, don't be afraid to play it bullish. It's really going to be that simple for me. Today is a perfect inside day candle on both gold and silver. And the dollar index, which I'm just going to look at now. Dollar index, what time is it? Oh man, I got a long time. So the dollar index, there's not a lot happening. So dollar index broke down out of that flag pattern, which, I mean, in my opinion, that would likely cause silver and gold to go up. You know? Any questions, ladies and gentlemen, on silver, gold, thoughts, concerns, questions, concerns, opposing viewpoints? Really good little flag pattern. And again, the interesting thing here on the dollar index is white candle gapping down. This is one of those times where market equities are just getting so strong that the dollar is getting a little bit weaker. I don't expect it to go to zero by any chance, but it can easily trade lower to the 100, maybe as far as back down here. But if that happens, then I'll just open up a Forex account and buy me some US dollars, against something. I've never traded Forex. I trade cryptocurrency. I've never traded Forex, but if the dollar gets back down there, then I'm gonna buy somewhere. All right, that's pretty much what I got. Let's go hop over to some more stocks. What do we have to look at right now? Next on the list, ticker symbol O. Oh yeah. This is the Realty Income Corporation. This is a fun one, a very volatile, pretty exciting REIT to trade. So you'll notice this daily chart, this 55 price, this is the only chart I've had on ticker symbol O for a long, long time. We'll zoom out and you'll see that's pretty much that previous all-time high. Right, so we got this really good old resistance, new support, 55, great support level there. Here's the 5-minute chart, and it's bounced beautifully off the 5 intraday. That's another day trading strategy that not many have, but some traders in here do, is you have these really strong daily support resistance levels on certain stocks that you follow often. And when a stock pulls in, you kind of aggressively day trade / swing trade it for 2 or 3 days, because this move right here, if you got in at 55, had a stop at 54, I mean, you're already up almost 2 Rs, in one day. Not too bad. So anyway, Realty Income from here, good bounce off that location. Here's the weekly. You're kind of bouncing off the 100. I kind of expect it to bounce from here a little bit. I agree. It looks a little double topish. There's no denying that. But I'm not going to play this REIT bearish, at least not anytime soon. If it pulls into $50, it could be a good buying opportunity, I feel like. So we'll see what ticker symbol O is doing in the future, but good buy low, sell high location, at least presently. Apple, guess what Apple did today? Apple hit a new all-time high. So Apple bounced off. I mean, type in a 2 if you got a chance to make some coinage off of these 2 little notes that we typed up Tuesday afternoon. I'm going to type in a 2 because that helped me out tremendously Snagged 1.3 Rs on Apple, bouncing off the 10 EMA. So I was able to lock that in today. So here's your exponential moving averages, traded right to the 10, bounced right off of it. So the key was, if Apple opens below 144.96, it didn't. So if Apple doesn't open below 144.96, buy the dip from the 10. I played the 15 calls, so I meant to write 135. So Steven says, Apple, a strong bullish day, excellent, very near to perfect Marabozu. Wow, you're right. Yes, he says, do you think this could be a sign for a bullish continuation? Yes, sir, I do. Very much so. So at this point on Apple, this could also be a opportunity to get in again, but that analysis is pretty much done. If you zoom into an hourly chart, remember the hourly chart is where bills come to get paid. You do your analysis on the daily and then zoom into the hourly to set the trade up. I'll be looking for a pullback to here. I just don't know if we get it. Meow, something like that. So this is the pre-market high from earnings, and we're pretty much right there. So we break that next week, which we probably will. We're going to hit 150 for guaranteed, and then we're going to go even higher. Steven Steckler has a target of 162.41. Steven says, I've done very well, making 35% on my RRSP Apple share since November. Well done. Could you recommend another long-term stock I should add to my retirement fund? Sure. British Petroleum. All right, so anyway, that's pretty much what we got on Apple. Race has got a 146 put for May. All right, sweet. 146 for May, so pretty much at the money put sales. You're doing pretty good on that. These June calls really might become the trade of my career. Put sale. Ray R. May. I think probably next week or the week after, maybe 2 or 3 weeks, 150, 151, somewhere in this general area, I'm going to sell these calls, the 120s. And I think I might be able to pay the rest of my taxes in full, plus a little bit of other debt, plus a few other things. I might even buy my mom a house. An amazing trade. Hard to hold, but that was one of the first times I've bought a call option that long. And that was the hardest decision, was just how long to buy them, at that level. We did a lot of analysis on Apple, and most of you guys might remember, it started in October, right? In October, I spent about 17 hours analyzing the charts of Apple, doing fibs, wave counts, past data, historical data. And I said, guys, in 11 weeks, look to buy call options. So in 11 weeks, it was right about there. So when we started breaking out right there, that's when we started buying calls. So welcome to the Thunderdome. I'm with you, Fred, in that Thunderdome, man. Feeling good about it. Really, really, really pumped. So congrats for anyone who got a chance to snag some gainage on Apple. Neil's had a 137 put sale. And again, there's a lot of people in shares as well on Apple. Long term, I will say at 130, if we get to 160, I'm going to sell some covered calls. Probably some at the money. At the money longer term. Probably like a 165, 160, like September. 526. Okay, that looks good. Well, congrats, folks. I mean, looking really pretty. Okay, Apple, done. Next on the list, we got Facebook and then Energy Transfer Partners. So Facebook, not doing very much. Had great earnings, but as you all know, look at this trend. I mean, it just needs to pull back at some level. Here's your weekly chart on it, and you got a little bit of a high wave weekly candle. This was and is, after all, a retest gap. So give Facebook some time, let it rest. I think, and I'll just pull this up just to make sure, but 2 days ago, or right before earnings, I mentioned, hey, if you're in some shares, you want to sell some covered calls over earnings, look to sell. I think I did the 160 is what I was analyzing. May the 2nd. So these are some of my notes just mentioning, hey, it's looking like it's going to pull back. 170 July covered call for 95 cents. 170 for July. As you all know, I don't have any shares of Facebook anymore, but if you do, update idea for those that did the 170 July covered call, hopefully, feel free to buy the close for 20 30 cents or lower on Monday. Congrats. And if you want to sell another one, could consider 160 for July. Okay. So that was for those who have shares. I wish I did have some shares of Facebook, but I don't. 160 is 10 points higher than where we are now. It's a pretty good move. I think it just needs to consolidate and trade sideways for a while. All right, next on the list, ETP, Energy Transfer Partners, and Energy Transfer Partners. Here's the weekly chart, slowly pulling back. I remember, if I'm not mistaken, there was some type of merger or company creation or something. Let me see if I can figure this out. They did something very recently. ETE and ETP. What did they do? Did they issue a special dividend or something? Give me a second. Let me get this pulled up. Well, it's taking a little bit. Well, while that's loading, I can probably see if I can read some more. Segment, partners, post-flat earnings, yada, yada, yada. Nothing there, nothing there. I know it did something because anyway, it was whatever it is. I think it issued stock or issued cash to buy something. Merge. Oh, it merged with SXL. Ah, that's what it was. So they merged. Noted. Well, in that case, like I said, I knew the price got dropped, and that's why. So they merged with. Okay. Well, we got a pretty good support here at 22.48. It's actually a pretty decent support. They had okay earnings, but really what's best to look at on ETP is this this really nice double bottom right there. Good double bottom, great neckline, 22.48. Looks really, really classic at this point. So that's pretty much what I got on ETP. Good supports. It's merged into the company. Let's see if we can bounce here. A lot of the energies did bounce today, which was a really good thing. Rio and then Twitter. So RIO also trying to get a little bit of a bounce in, up 2.81%. Trade down to the 200 yesterday and bounce. Now you got a little bit of a morning star reversal on this candlestick chart. So simply from here, if we break higher, we'll probably just start creating this like accumulation pattern where we just chop around. Looks and it will feel a little more bullish than bearish for sure. But overall, there's a great, really strong resistance at 41 on RIO. So here's that 41 support resistance, and that's what we were battling with. And if we do a wave count, the reason I said we'll probably chop around for a while is based on the count, I'm getting a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 at some point. But this 4 could obviously take a long, long time. So I think we're going to continue to chop around on iron ore, Rio, the mining company, and just kind of do its thing, which will be super exciting. Twitter, I'm only looking at for 2 traders. Brian Montgomery is in Twitter with a stop at 18.28. Charles, I don't know if you're still in or not, but if you are, just let me know where your stop might be. So we had an official set up on Twitter, and we missed it by a dime, which is brutal, but would have been a great, great trade setup. Exponential moving averages are slowly catching up. The next target is this purple line of 1963. That was a great year. Here's the hourly charts, and this is the one with extended hours turned on. So nice little 50 EMA, good trend, definitely bullish is the one you're looking to take in, how you look to take the trade. And we haven't really bounced off the 20. So my thought is if you're looking at playing Twitter, depending on what time frame you're looking at playing it on, look to buy the pullback. There'll be a pullback into the 20. There'll be the pullback into the 50. I'll probably personally be looking for that one, the pullback into the 20, and go from there. Charles says, yep, stop is at 1836. Ooh, nice. All right. So you and Brian pretty much right on. I'll just put that one in there for you as well. Brian M. and Charles. All right. Sweet, buddy. Congrats. You've been crushing the last few weeks, man. Keep it up. That's what it's all about. Trade your plan, losing small, winning big. Square, trigger symbol SQ. So Square, Mr. Squiggles strikes back. That should be the next Star Wars movie. Really good pennant pattern. So we were talking about this one just 2 or 3 days ago. It stayed right in that pennant pattern from yesterday. Was just kind of talking about it, mentioning it. For us to take this trade official, which I'm not afraid of by any means, it just needs to trade sideways a little bit longer before I can get that trade set up. Because it's a little extended. It's a great, great gap. No denying that. I like it a lot. I like it a lot. But it's just something that I want to trade sideways a little bit more, only because that's me just telling the market what I want it to do, right? I said yesterday when I kind of drew that, I was like, hey, I think we're going to trade sideways for 2 to 3 days. And then from there, I will take that trade. That was pretty much what it was about. Any questions, ladies and gentlemen, on Square? There's a lot of traders in all kinds of things on this one. Shares, put sales. I believe my buddy Darren had a put sale over earnings for May, which expired worthless. Just kind of jotting down some notes. All right, because we're definitely going to look at that next week. Beautiful. Next on the list, we have NVIDIA and then Visa. NVIDIA. So NVIDIA, Justin Jeffrey had himself a covered call that expired. Congratulations, buddy. Earnings right around the corner. This one's going to be fun. We're going to look at NVIDIA Tuesday, and I'll come up with my exact earnings plan for it. But it's going to be really simple. So, this and this is pretty much that range. And if it gaps out of here, NVIDIA is going to go nice and bearish into the purple area. And if we gap out of here, it's probably going to be a pretty good bullish gap. So keyword, of course, if on NVIDIA. Here's the weekly time frame, and it's a retest gap on a weekly. That's why I kind of think we're going to gap down on earnings and get a little bit more bearish. So just note that if we do gap down, I can go ahead and kind of more or less draw it, and we'll just talk about it. But if we gap down in this area on earnings, it's going to run. We gap above here, should be moderately bullish. And we gap above here, gone with the wind. That's gonna run like Forrest Gump. So that'll be green, and this will be green. So I'll look at that officially. We'll post that for everyone Tuesday. Mark says, nice double bottom coming. Yeah, exactly. So it traded down to the exact same price that it traded to March 6th, that purple line, and gave you a beautiful one white soldier candle. That is phenomenal support resistance. And it did, after this gap, it did get a little bit bearish, right? It retested and rolled down, and then just rolled down to that last ditch effort support. Good to see it hold for those who had shares and put sales and all that jazz. All right, Visa, MasterCard, not doing too much. I don't have any trade set up, no position, nothing on Visa. We made a new all-time high today. It's hanging out. The trend is bullish. You know, of course, if we close below 91, sure, I'll look to see if there's any kind of bearish day trade or swing trade there. Otherwise, probably not. MasterCard, same thing. MasterCard, no trade set up on. It had a really good bullish gap and go on earnings. But again, it gapped up to an all-time high and is just hanging out. So nothing brutally exciting on MasterCard. Okay, American Express, and I got Netflix on here twice. Okay, American Express, ticker symbol AXP, daily charts. Ooh, American Express is looking a little interesting. Noted. Really good gap. Nope. Really good gap. See if it can close at 77.31. If it closes below there, something's brewing on American Express. And we will keep an eye out for that. I'm gonna put that on the list on Tuesday. See if we can swing trade it, because we do need a little bit of some bearish swing trades. All right, Netflix. Did anyone get triggered into the weekly options newsletter today? I did not. Let me just check. I didn't as of like earlier this day, right 2 o'clock in Eastern time. Positions, no. All right, not in, at least not yet. So I still like it. I think we can keep it open. Right now, the call option is at 250. So if we gap down on Monday, which I'm kind of expecting, we might get a good fill. And, obviously hoping from there we would bounce. Here's your hourly chart. I'll turn the extended hours on. And we might just gap down. I would love, actually, if we kind of gap down to the 50. And maybe we get a limit buy like $1.40 and then just starts trading up higher. That'd be really cool. So we'll see. It really was supposed to trigger today. If you use the stock, it would have triggered. So we'll see if we gap down into this price, and if we do, I think it'll trade up. I don't think it'll stop us out though, because again, that would be a $2 change in the option price. That would be massive. We'll see though. We only got 2 weeks left on Netflix. If that trade does progress, I made 0.28 R on Netflix on a bullish day trade today with weekly call options. So got really lucky though. But I bought right here. Hold on, let me make sure I'm telling this story correct. Yep. I got to turn on the pre-market. That'll help me, but that's where I bought. So here's the extended hours. So here's the pre-market. So I set an entry on this here in the green line. And I bought at 80-cent limit buy, absolute zero, 157.50 call expiring this Friday, filled at 78 cents. And then right here where this double top was retesting, I sold it for $1. So very small gain, but I knew as soon as I got triggered in, I was like, well, it's not like the option's working. So if I get triggered into an absolute zero trade and it doesn't work immediately, then I go, well, let me see if I can get out for a profit, because that's what you want to do with options, because the leverage is already there. So exited at $1 where it was retesting that neckline. Should have gotten into some puts, thought about it, didn't. But then it rolled right over. So great double top neckline on Netflix on the 5-minute chart. So anyway, bottom line is weekly options newsletter going to stay open. We'll see what happens. Next on the list is AMD, and watching AMD to see if we can play it bearish or bullish. Who knows? Nothing to see here yet. We'll just keep an eye on it, and that'll go on the list for sure next week. That's AMD. And then the most recent, the newest swing trade setup that I'm going to submit tomorrow afternoon is AAOI. I don't think it fills, probably won't. We'll look at it on Monday, and then we'll look at it on Friday of next week. And if it doesn't trigger by Friday of next week, I'll cancel. It's a pretty volatile stock. It's a great bullish gap, but this is our newest official trade. 5-5-17 if this doesn't trigger by okay. 52.11 by 48.27. Good volume. I mean, everything's perfect about it, right? It's flawless. Doesn't mean it's going to work, but it will mean that I'm going to take it. Okay. That's AAOI. And then the other one was INCY. This is one that we almost took as a day trade today. Yep, I wanted it to close a little more bearish than that, and it didn't quite do it. So we will move on. So INCY, actually, it should be canceled today, right? It should be canceled. AAOI, no, we're gonna leave it open until next Friday. I'll leave that open a whole week. INCY, let's look at it again on Tuesday. And we'll see if we can retest. I like this gap. I like the 100. It just needs to look at a little bit more bearish and see what happens. So May the 5th, if it doesn't trigger, end of day next Friday. Good call. So May the 5th, that's just a timestamp for me to know when the note was taken, but got it. Thanks, homie. Appreciate it, brother. That's pretty much it for today. That's all we got. And by that's all, that's all, folks. That's a lot of stocks. Perfect. Monday is Merchant Monday. What would you like to look at on Monday? It can be anything. Any stock, it's your show. Happy to help. IYT, Lulu, obviously, Sears, Disney again, LNG, MetLife. The one that we're looking at right now, AAOI. Derek says T. For AT&T, we can look at Verizon. Where's Steven? Or Verizon. Verizon, US Steel, ticker symbol O, Amazon, Macy's, Target, Kroger. That's going to be a good one because Cristobal wanted to trade Kroger also. We'll snag Nike in there. Costco, why not? Whole Foods, says Mark. Beautiful. Loving this list. Dollar Tree and Dick's Sporting Goods, noted. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you go have yourselves an amazing weekend. If you have any questions or need anything, let me know. You know where to find me. Enjoy, be safe, have fun, spend quality time with friends and family. And of course, remember to love life, live life, and trade it. You're amazing people. Thanks for all that you do. Thanks for helping us with our mission to enrich lives. You guys rock. I'll see you later. Till next time.